Hey guys, welcome back to Going Off Grid My Way. Well, not a lot has happened. Um, Lettuce has finally started growing. We have been eating out of there. And I don't know how well you can see this right here. This is asparagus. This is asparagus. That's asparagus. There's asparagus there. This is all asparagus. These are asparagus. This is asparagus. Now that the guineas are gone and they're not eating it, the asparagus is growing. By the way, I did weed this a couple days ago. Um, like I said, the lettuce is growing. Been picking up the broken pieces out of the onion bed and feeding them to the rabbits. They love it. Everybody's going to seed. I'm not sure if we're going to get any onions out of this. So if anybody's got any ideas, these were all store-bought onions that started growing and I planted them. Obviously they grew. The question is there going to be anything underneath the ground? I'm not 100% sure. So if you guys have any insight, let me know. Some of these got real tall. But nothing is going to waste. Even the plants are being fed to the rabbits, like I said. There's going to be no waste. Anything green they eat. So pretty much all the potatoes on this side have died. I think that was because of the sun, too much heat, not enough rain. Some of these are still surviving and hanging in there. Some of them aren't. Still got rocks all over. Haven't really done a whole lot over here on the house itself. I was planning on buying wood this past weekend. Today is Wednesday. You probably won't see this till Thursday. But last Friday, I didn't realize it, but one of the tires on the car that Lindsay drives to work was completely bald. The other side had a section of tread missing. It goes down to the metal. So 2 tires and were needed. So I bought 2 tires. And while we were there, I was looking at underneath, checking the brakes and everything while they had it off, and realized that the tie rods were shot, the outer tie rods. So then I had to do that when I got home. So needless to say, all the money I was planning on spending on wood this week went to fixing the car, and then some. We've had a lot of rain over the last few days, and as you can see where they dug the trench, it has finally sank and collapsed. Also, over the weekend, since we didn't have any money to work in the house, me and Lindsay took a ride on the four-wheeler. Needless to say, we had a small fire. The plastics completely melted through and burned up the seat pretty well. The muffler, as you can see, has holes rusted through it, and there's just nothing there. Somewhere over here there's a big hole along the top, and it's rusted through. You can see the daylight where the plastic has melted. So since there was a big hole and it rusted through, all the heat went up, hit the plastic melted, and hit the exhaust, started on fire. So yeah, that happened. That was fun. Mind you, we were 23 miles from the house on the state land over here. Radishes growing wonderful. There's not a whole lot growing in this whole area here, except for carrots that we planted. Nothing else really came up lettuce-wise. Except for this one row here and this partial row here. And then, like I said, nothing came up here. All the beans have flowers. This whole area has been replanted with corn, multiple types of corn. So I will probably end up with some kind of mixed species of corn. That tray of tomatoes that I had gotten, as you can see, these are about 8-10 inches, some of them. Some of them are a little bit bigger, but they're doing pretty well. Haven't trimmed any of them yet. I do have to. I do got to get out here and tie some of these up because they are starting to lay down from all the rain we've had. I pulled a couple more potato plants. They're over here out of the bucket, and I planted them out here. I also took all the potato seeds that I've had in the house for the last 3 months and just haven't had a chance to do anything with, and I got them planted in here. Various spots. So you can see a couple of spots. I just came home from my second job, and we had cut a bunch of wood today and ended up with 2 big garbage bags of sawdust, which is what's spread out all over here, just to help with the dirt. But yeah, I had a bunch of onions that were starting to grow, so, or not onions, garlic, and I planted that. I did plant probably another 4 dozen potatoes. That one mound over there is just a pile of them that were just starting to grow. I ran out of room, so I just threw them in a pile and covered them with dirt. If they grow, they grow. They don't, they don't. I emptied out some of the pots that I had sitting in the greenhouse because, like I said, that will be coming down in the fall. I have a bunch of stuff planted right here in the middle. You probably can't see it because of the sawdust, but everything that I had in the tray inside the greenhouse that I kept saying needed to be planted, well, I finally planted them. The mixed divine plants that I have here, I have had a couple flowers on them and they've died off. I don't know if anything's going to grow on them, but they're still growing. Those also I started off from seed, except for the watermelons. The corn I planted in this area, not one piece came up. The wheat that I grew over here, not one piece came up. This actually looks like a tomato plant that might somehow have started growing. What is this called? I forgot. Soybeans are just starting to come up over in this area here. As you see, I got paint all over my hands. I was painting today too. This is growing halfway decent. I've got some sprouts coming up here, but I can't remember what I planted. This is carrots in this area, and for the most part that all came up. And then I put onion seed in here, and I can't tell if any of things coming up or if it's just weeds. But like I said, I got potatoes planted in piles, a couple rows, and then I got the stuff over there. What else? I have decided, I've got a couple people that I know that cut grass. I don't know if they're willing to come out this far, but they do all the fall cleanups and everything, and they mulch all their leaves and grass, and I'm going to see if they need a place to dump. I'm going to get the rest of the boards for the sides of these so that I can build it up, and then I'm going to offer a spot for anybody online to dump their leaves, and I'm going to try and mound this up real high all the way around, all the way down, and keep packing it down, stepping on it, and hopefully come summertime that should be some really good dirt. Like I said, this area here I bought dirt and put it in. All the rest of this has just been dug up in the yard, so it's 90% sand. I don't know if that has anything to do with some of the stuff that I've planted not growing, but the bought dirt is also not producing half of what I planted. Most of my seeds are a couple years old, so that could be part of it. It could be partly because the dirt's pH is too high. I haven't had a chance to test it. I do have test strips somewhere. I just not know where anything is because I don't have a garage to organize anything, which we'll talk about in a minute. So like I said, I did replant this with 4 different types of corn. I'm probably going to go through these rows over here, and where there's nothing growing that I planted and just weeds, I probably try and throw some more small plants like radishes or something down just so I can get something, and then that'll all be fed to the rabbits. That'll cut my rabbit feed down since I have it. I want to try and get through all the seeds that I have in the next 2 years. That way I can purchase new seeds and they'll last a little bit longer. Because some of the seeds that I have, some of them are 10 years old. But anyways, yeah, I started cleaning this up a little bit, trying to get it all organized. Anything in here with dirt in it, I've been starting to dump out and get it ready for cleaning up. My Roma tomato plant, the flowers that I was showing you before, I have been getting tomatoes. I got more flowers right here. The broccoli heads are doing wonderful. The cabbages are starting to cabbage. I have yet to get any flowers on these guys, but they're growing really tall, so I'm guessing these are interdeterminate tomatoes. I can't even remember what they are. Everything in here is growing really well except for my cherry trees. I don't know if any of you have got cherry trees or have started from rootstock, but please enlighten me because I don't know what to do from here. I've got 2 cherry trees. I've checked under the bark continuously over the last couple months. They're still green, but they're not producing anything. There's no leaves on them. There's no buds. There's nothing. So enlighten me if you can. There was a pot here when I moved in. This tree grew. If anybody can tell me what it is, that would be great. We're still getting strawberries. They're coming kind of funky. I don't know if that's because of the water, the rain, whatnot. I don't know. Peppers are all flowered. Looks like the broccoli, the broccoli is actually starting to go to seed. So I'm not sure. We do have peppers. I have picked a couple peppers. They are all flowering. The spearmint's doing wonderful. I don't know how well you can see that, but we are getting beans on all the bean plants. There's some more strawberries. Like I said, something's in here eating them. I think it's a chipmunk. So I think it's time to set a chipmunk trap. Parsley is just going out of control. It don't know what to do with itself. Let's see. We got some pretty good sized beans coming. Like I said, all of them have beans on it. I just picked a pepper the other day, but I got caterpillars in here. I've killed a couple of them, but they have pretty well chewed up some of these tomato plants or strawberry plants. But all the different bean plants are producing beans. There's some big ones on this one. The pepper plants are doing good. Like I said, I pulled some of the tomatoes out. Still have yet to see any Brussels sprouts. Like I said, this will all be coming down here probably in August. As soon as I start producing anything in here. Not sure what I'm doing with all the trees and bushes and everything for the winter. More than likely they will be coming in the house and going in the addition somewhere just to sit for the winter. Everything here in pots so I can take this down. More than likely I'll be taking the plastic and trying to cover, like I said, because I'm going to fill the whole garden bed in with leaves, and then I want to I'm going to soak it down real well, and then I'm going to cover it with plastic so it doesn't blow all over the place. And that will hopefully, like I said, become good dirt for next year. Any more sawdust, I've been trying to get material to build a good dirt anywhere I can. So I will try and get a truckload of manure by the end of in the fall. before I cover this with leaves and pack this full. It'll probably take a couple truckloads. Half the cucumbers have survived. I don't know if that's because lack of water or too much sunlight or what. I've been keeping the rabbit cage cleaned. You can see a couple of them sitting here if they don't scoot back in. Oh, they're all out. I have yet to get any babies. I believe the black ones are females and the white and brown one are males. The brown one I got as a pet. Somebody owned him as a pet, so I believe he is fixed. But the white one is supposed to be a male and shouldn't be fixed. So there's no way for me really to check them because they haven't been handled in so long. They won't let you touch them too much. They'll let Lindsay hold them, but only for a few seconds. And if you try and flip them over, they go nuts, and they do have some pretty sharp claws. So needless to say, the two of us couldn't manage to flip them over. I have a varmint problem. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's just one hole of a few in that tote where the varmints have been getting in. That house that I was doing a clean out on and got all the scrap and stuff like this that's usable, they ended up putting the trailer up for free for scrap, and somebody's been working on it for a few days, and I went over there and they had these two windows. They are strapped with some metal strap on the top and the bottom where they're met together, and I asked them what they were going to do with all the material. I figured they were going to scrap out the metal, which they are, which is fine. I'm not going to try and ask them for it because that's what they're doing it for. They're tearing it down for free for the scrap. There's really not a whole lot of usable material in there. It was pretty bad. I asked them what they were going to do with the wood. They said they're going to keep most of it. They said if there's anything usable that they don't want, they will let me know, free of charge. So if it's something I can use, I will definitely be taking it. But I did ask them what they were going to do with these windows, and they said they were just going to get rid of them because they don't want to haul them out of here. So, yeah, my scrap pile got down pretty far. It's down to a minimum now, and I took that load back, so I got maybe another load. Still debating on what to do with this coat cooler, if I'm going to list it for sale or not. I haven't taken the furnace in yet because I'm not sure. It's the same. It looks pretty close to the same thing that I have, so I'm not sure if I can get any parts off of it, so that's why I haven't done that. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire update. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview and let you know what's going on. I worked all day today. I'll be working all day tomorrow, hopefully. If I can get an extra couple $100 from today and tomorrow, that would be great. And then I don't know if you can hear that racket in the back, but that's them beating on that trailer. Like I said, it's just around the corner. So, oh, that was the other thing. So I decided, since I'm going to be tearing the roof off of the trailer, and it's roughly 16-foot truss, instead of cutting them up and using them for kindling or something along that lines, I'm going to just reuse them on a garage right here. It'll be 10-foot high walls, then the trusses on top of that. It'll be 16-foot wide, 32-foot long, so it'll start at the front of the house and it'll end where the back of the house ends, so that way everything's level and smooth and aesthetically pleasing. And then, like I said, it'll be 16-foot wide, and then I'll put 2 lean-tos on either side, and then I'll box that in eventually too. But for now, I just need something to store materials and all my stuff in. I have had a few things go missing over the last few weeks. A lot of miscellaneous things that, you don't just lose. You don't lose 5-gallon gas cans full of gas. You don't lose 3 fishing nets. It's just a lot of random things that you just normally wouldn't lose. And I'm pretty sure somebody's been stealing from me. Like I said, there was some tools inside this shed over here, since it doesn't have a door and it's not very secure. Even if it did have a door, um, there's just really no way for me to keep anybody out. So instead of having to instead of building a real big garage and then putting trusses in and buying trusses and spending all that extra money, I'm just going to do a 16 by 32 foot garage, and then I will use the trusses that we have. That way they're not going to waste, and I'm not spending more money I don't have. And then, like I said, I can always put 2 lean-tos on the sides for more storage. Eventually one side will be for wood. But that way I don't have to tear this shed down until the main part's up, because it'll pretty much be going right about from where them 2 fence posts are, all the way back here to where the end of the house is, which that's going to be the stake for the end of the house. So it won't be too bad. But I'm going to get off here. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. So let me know what you think. Get any questions, comments, anything like that, let me know. Alright, I'll talk to you later.